the best a man can get.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Stir Friday. First things first, I'm Jenna Wolf. That is the Hall of Famer, Chris Carter. We're over here.
Somebody write that?
Stir Fry.
No.
Get it? Stir Fry. Okay, you know what? That wasn't my joke. That was Joe's joke.
Okay, let's do this.
Our stage manager, Joe, gave me that. I passed it off. It didn't work, so now I'm blaming him. I loved it. Anyway, you know him. You know him.
And you know her.
And you know me. Who gets you started every day?
Plum's out of work today. Her writer's out.
No, this is her writer right here.
Except for the bad jokes. Those you blame anonymous for.
Nope, stage manager Joe.
Oh, my God. What are you doing on the show?
Mahomes says he can improve after his MVP season last year. LeBron has hit the recruiting trail where everyone knows he needs to be, but we got to start with a thrilling game in Milwaukee last night. Keyword there being start, the show, as in let's run highlights, please. Game 5 between the Bucks and the Toronto Raptors. The series tied at 2. Pick it up in the fourth quarter. Kawhi Leonard from deep to give Toronto a 1-point lead. Kawhi 35 points, 15 in the fourth quarter. Under 3 to go. Tie game. Fred VanVleet, how good was he last night? Nails the 3, 21 off the bench. 30 seconds left in the game. Bucks down 3. A chance to tie right here. Malcolm Brogdon gets it in the corner, but he turns the ball over. Raptors stun the Bucks in Milwaukee. 105-99 your final. Toronto now takes a 3-2 series lead, heading back to Toronto. Here's Kawhi after the game on the message from his head coach, Nick Nurse.
He told me tonight, go get it, and you know, I'm not afraid of the moment. I enjoy it, and you know, this was what I work out for in the summer. So you just got to go out and shoot the ball, I guess. That's my mindset, try to get to a spot, help my team win the game.
We're not going to fold, man. Come on, man. We're best team in the league, man. We're not going to fold. We're going to go and give everything we got. We're not going to go there. And even they set a great tone, and they come out and hit us in the mouth first. We can't fold. You know, we're going to come back to Milwaukee being pissed. Like, you cannot fold. You got to go out there and give everything you got. If we lose, we lose. Okay, cool. But we're not going forward as a team, and that's not what we do.
CC, I got to give you credit on this one. When most of the basketball world had the Bucks as the best team and winning this one fairly easily, you said, hold on, wait till you see what the Raptors can do. How are they able to win Game 5 on the road?
Well, they win Game 5 because their coach made the best adjustment after Game 2. And that's where they were down 2-0 after losing first 2 games in Milwaukee. They decided, regardless of what other people feel, tremendous advantage as far as length and height, we're going to put our best player, and that's Kawhi Leonard, on Giannis. And since they were down 2-0, it has been the big difference in the series. Now, for me personally, this has been great for me to watch because I went through all this with Kawhi last year. When the whole world, because when you have an institution like San Antonio, because they're like New England, the organization's always right. The players aren't right. They always win. But these are really talented players that they've had in their system. But Kawhi personally took an attack because people thought that he was healthy and he couldn't play. So behind the scenes, Kawhi's a very, very different person. But it hurt him. It affected him. And he worked on his game this summer, and he felt like he could be at the level that he was at before, or even better now coming to Toronto, because he felt like his offensive game had improved. So when they made this adjustment, and even though he got injured in game number 3, what he has done single-handedly, slowing down Giannis, forget the offensive productivity, but when you slow down Giannis, it gives you a chance to be in the game against Milwaukee because he facilitates so much of their offense. And his ability to be able to score the basketball, led last night by 15 points in the fourth quarter. Yeah. It was phenomenal. We know Kawhi is not 100%, but to see the type of effort, to see the skill for which he plays with, man, that's what this was about. Nick Nurse, he made the adjustment of this series, and that's how I felt like they won last night's game, depending on Kawhi Leonard. The last 3 games, Giannis has shot 33% from the field. That's why the Raptors have the lead now, Nick.
Quickly on Nick Nurse, the other adjustment he made within the game last night was a very quick trigger on Danny Green. Danny Green, you are not you're there to hit open corner threes. Oh, you missed 3 of them to start the game. You don't need to play anymore. Fred VanVleet, who was a couple games ago, had made 4 of his last 28 shots and 3 of his last 23 threes. He continued to have faith in him. VanVleet was quite good in game 4 and was exceptional in game 5. He hit 7 threes last night to lead the team, lead the bench.
You know why?
I should say, with 21
Birth
points.
of his baby, felt good, life is great, get out there, put on a show.
Yeah, I thought that was good for one game.
So, yeah, I mean, last night
I really did.
Last night he was exceptional in those minutes that would have gone to Danny Green. But the story of the game is the claw. The story of the game is Kawhi Leonard, and we have known ever since. There's a great moment in the 2013 finals. That's the Ray Allen finals, the finals the Spurs lost, of LeBron James, peak of his powers, LeBron James at the free throw line, getting ready to shoot a second free throw. And he hears the horn sound because someone's checking in. And he turns over his shoulder and he sees it's Kawhi, and he goes, shrugs his shoulders a bit. Apex LeBron James saw a young, early 20s Kawhi Leonard checking into a game and said, damn it, this is about to get a lot harder. We knew the type of defender Kawhi was from that moment forward. He won a finals MVP because of that defense the following year. But what last night was fully formed, all-around greatness Kawhi Leonard. This is the first time in his career he's had 9 assists. Which I think startles some people if they don't watch that closely.
And, Nick, I got to give you credit. When we talked about the greatest players, you talked about there's one slight little hole in Kawhi's game, Chris. As far as a playmaker, he's not Harden, he's not Steph, he's not LeBron, he's not KD. He's not the passer of those players. And I said, Nick, it's more of the system. I believe that he's going to be a worker like with the basketball IQ he has and the way he plays the game, he should be a better passer. Last night, best passing game that he...
Right, because it startles people. Kawhi Leonard, 0 career triple-doubles. Well, you can't get triple-doubles if you never get 10 assists. And so it's very difficult. You're not going to get steals and blocks. And so Kawhi last night, he was great defensively, as always. He pours in 35 points, 15 in the 4th quarter, a quarter the Bucks went into the quarter leading, a game the Bucks went into the quarter leading. He was exceptional. Giannis is going to win league MVP, whether you think it should be Giannis or Harden. Everyone knows that those are the top 2 guys. Kawhi has outplayed him this series. He's the biggest reason the Raptors are up 3-2 after falling down 2-0.
And in case you've been living under a rock, Kawhi has played max minutes. Kawhi is exhausted. Kawhi is playing on 2 legs that have really been bothering him. I mean, this is a guy who has really carried this team even on the nights that he doesn't have. If you look to the other side, Chris, you said something interesting yesterday. You said it seemed like the Bucks are resting on their laurels of the regular season. Yeah, but we were so good in the regular season. Don't worry, we got this. You talked about the difference between this is now the postseason. It's a different beast, and maybe experience is a factor. Maybe the Bucks just assumed they were going to win last night, came out and couldn't handle Kawhi.
Nick talked about when this series began, can this team get to the NBA Finals with skipping a step? And to me, that step is part of experience. I don't like to give athletes or teams credit for things they have not done. Now, I know Coach Bud, I'm not going to say this is the Atlanta team because they're so much more talented. And we know with LeBron being in the East at that time, it's a total different thing. But the Bucks have to be able to prove it. They have to validate those 60 wins in the postseason. And the postseason play is so different. I didn't know Bledsoe was going to average half the points in the playoffs. You don't know that. Defenses play you different. Giannis with the physical contact. He's still been able to be good, but he hadn't been able to be the regular season Giannis. So all these things that you haven't seen a team do before in the postseason, chemistry, how are they going to gel after a loss? What are they going to do if they happen to lose 2 or 3 in a row? It's the first time that we've able to seen it. So it's not as if I was right. I just don't count it. Young teams experience it. The teams that don't have it, it's not that important. But you can see it's hard to get to the finals without going through struggles like this. Now, this could be the struggle to get them over the top.
Well, that's right. And this could be that they could still skip that step. This series, I know it's 3-2 Toronto. Here's where we're at. Through 5 games, these two teams have scored an identical amount of points. Through 5 games, the Raptors have won a blowout. The Bucks have won a blowout. The Raptors have won a game. The Bucks led going into the 4th. The Bucks have won a game. The Raptors led going into the 4th. And then there was a double overtime game. The double overtime game, Toronto won. That's the difference between them being up 3-2 and down 3-2. Of course, any game that goes to overtime, single or double. So I think Milwaukee is still very live. I think Milwaukee they wanted to win last night's game. Some would say they needed to win last night's game, but they're a win on Saturday away from having a home game 7 to go to the NBA Finals. But there's a first 3-game losing streak in 15 months. And so we will see how they deal with that, because it's something this group with this coach has not dealt with.
That's an amazing stat, the numbers being equal as far as points. But the difference is Kawhi Leonard.
He's been the best player.
As he said, this moment is not too big for me. I worked out all summer for this. Now, Giannis has worked on his game. His game has improved so much. But if he can't shoot a 5 to 12-foot jump shot, because they're going to make a wall in the lane against him. And that's the difference in these players' development at this stage of their career. Kawhi a little bit older, and now he's got a complete game, and it was on full display last night.
All right, good stuff. Sarah Kustok will be out here in a little bit. We'll discuss more of this. But coming up, did Klay Thompson get robbed by the All-NBA voters? Hear it from him next on FS1. You can always check us out on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.